It's Stocktober 23rd. Welcome to Homestead by Chance. Well, the summer is starting to come to a close, at least sort of, here in the Mid-South. We had some low temperatures last week and over the weekend, and then it shot back up into the 80s again, and it's going to be like 80, 82, 79, in there for the next 2 weeks. So that's the interesting thing about living in the South. You just never know. But the days for sure are getting shorter, and that means that my hens are going to start slowing down. Right now, I have an abundance of eggs, but I want to make sure that I have plenty of eggs over the winter as well. And one really easy way to do that is to water glass. And if you've never water glassed before, it's actually really easy, like amazingly easy and simple to do. Basically, you just need a nice large glass jar, and you need some pickling lime. Okay, just simple canning pickling lime. I believe you can also get it at hardware stores and feed stores and things like that. Just make sure that it's food grade, obviously. But you need 1 ounce of lime by weight for 1 quart of water. I have some old pickle jars here, and they're not quite 2 quarts, but the cool thing is, by the time I put the eggs in there, I'm only using 1 quart of water in this jar. So basically I put in a quart of water, I put in 1 ounce by weight of the lime, and then I just take my fresh eggs, and it's so simple. I did learn the hard way when I very first did it. Don't just drop them in, because they will crack. So I've got these really cool tongs that are like wire loops. But anyway, so they just clamp over the egg, really cool. And then that way I can just slip it in there and get it to the point where it's not going to fall and crack, right? Because I want to make sure that my eggs don't crack. Now, if your egg does, if you come up with a cracked egg, later on when you're pulling out your eggs to eat, it's edible. It's going to taste like lime. So that's probably one that you want to scramble up and feed back to your chickens. But these eggs will last for a very long time. I had a jar for 2 years, actually, and we pulled out the eggs and used them. You're not going to get over easy or sunny side up, okay? This is scrambled eggs, baking, and things like that. So they do end up being a little bit runnier, but other than that, it's an egg, okay? You want to make sure that you wash the outside off before you crack them, because the outside's going to be covered in lime, and you don't want that to get into your egg because you will taste it. And that's all that's for. It's just because you're going to be like, ooh, that's, right? Because that's what lime does, right? So you do want to make sure that you wash them before you actually use them to prevent that flavor from coming over. So I've got my eggs coming in. We're still doing pretty good right now. I also have quail, and quail are very prolific layers, even though we definitely have a size difference, right? So it takes about 3 or 4 quail eggs to equal a nice chicken egg, but that's okay, because I've got lots of eggs coming in, and so I use the quail eggs I usually use for baking, but I mean they taste the same as a chicken egg. Some people say they taste different, but my husband and son said they taste the same. So I will, most of the time my husband wants like an over easy or something like that, so he's going to go with a chicken egg because it's just easier. But if we do scrambled or something like that, then I can crack about, like 1,000 quail eggs to equal what is necessary. Nah, I'm not dissing on the quail. I love my quail. I love the little eggs. They're so cute, little brown speckled spots, but it does take more of them. So usually I'm the one that ends up deciding we're using the quail eggs today, because I get a big old basket of them and they need to be used up. So, but the nice thing about the quail is that they take up very little space as a bird, okay? Chickens, they need a big space to roam around. Whether they're out in your yard or you do have them in a coop with a run, they still need quite a bit of space. Quail need a very small amount of space. They make very little noise, very easy to keep and take care of, and they lay fairly prolifically, unlike chickens that can like go on strike and decide not to lay. Quail pretty much keep going, so we have a backup here with lots of quail eggs. Other things that we're doing, October or the fall is apple season, right? So I try to eat an apple every day. Last year I did the big applesauce and apple butter rounds, so I'm not ordering the apples like I usually would this year because I have so many jars left over. But I do eat a lot of apples, I try to, and that means that I can start my next batch of apple scrap vinegar. And you might say, what's apple scrap vinegar? Well, it's almost exactly what it sounds like, right? So I take my apple scraps and I put them in water, either filtered water or well water. You don't want to use city water for this. And then I'll add a little bit of apple cider vinegar, raw with the mother. I'll add just a couple of tablespoons to this. That just kind of helps to get it going, okay? It's not absolutely necessary. Some people will put in some sugar to help get it going. I've never put in sugar, and I've never had a problem. I've even made it straight up apple scraps and water, and it does great. So there's lots of different ways to do it. But my preferred method is the well water, apple scraps, and a couple of tablespoons of ACV to help get it going. And then I just put a piece of cloth on top with a rubber band to keep the bugs out and everything like that. And it's just going to pull the yeast, right, from your area where you are. And every day or every couple of days, I want to give it a little shake like that just to keep mold from growing, okay? You might get some calm yeast on the top. I tend to have a lot of calm yeast in my fermented goods. I guess that's just what I have around here. It's not harmful. You don't necessarily want to eat it because it's not yummy or anything, but you can just skim it off. So the apple scrap vinegar, ASV, I then use for all of my cleaning products. Okay, so this is my laundry spray. It's my bathroom cleaner, my kitchen cleaner. It's everything. And then I can put essential oils or different things in it. My cleaning spray that I use is pine needles and citrus peels. Okay, it's pine sol. That's basically what I'm making with the added citrus benefit, and that's what I use to clean. My laundry spray is diluted apple scrap vinegar with tea tree oil and lemon eucalyptus for the bug repellent benefits. And then the tea tree oil also is antibacterial, as of course you get the vinegar as well, helping you out there. I dilute it because we know that apple vinegar, whether it's a scrap or cider, is very dark color, and it can stain the clothes if it's not diluted. The good thing is it washes out. It's not a stain like you're, oh no, I have to scrub it with something. No, it's not that kind of stain. As soon as you put it in water, the stain comes out. But I don't want to have to keep redoing my laundry. So I water it down so it's a very light color, and I'm still getting all the benefits from my laundry, okay? So I'm starting up my apple scrap vinegar again. And of course, sweet potatoes are starting to come in. I think I started to dig up some. It's like the world's most unfun game of hide and seek when you're looking for sweet potatoes. And I do my regular potatoes, like white potatoes. I do those in bags. Why I didn't do the sweet potatoes in bags, I don't know. So now I'm having to spend several days playing hide and go seek with my sweet potatoes. So far I've got a bin of them, and it did pretty well. So it's first time with sweet potatoes, and I'm very excited about that. So I've got my sweet potatoes coming in, and then as it's the end of the summer for us, my ground cherries. If you've never seen ground cherries before, that's what these are. So, and they grow wild here, and that's what these are. These are wild ground cherries, and we actually found them at the property. I found a plant at the property several years ago, and I was like, what in the world is that? It looks so familiar. And of course, I looked it up and everything. Oh, it's ground cherries, and they're related to the tomatillo, and so I say they taste like a tropical tomato. And I'm not a big tomato fan, and I actually like these. Okay. They're small, so here, let me see. You can see that. So you've got the paper on the outside. See, it kind of looks like a tomatillo, right? And then you just peel the paper back, and there's a ground cherry in there. And you can see, you know, here's my thumb with it. It's not huge, okay? But the ground cherry plant is very prolific. I have 3 plants. I saved seeds from the wild one, and then I planted them in the back. I have 3 plants, and every couple of days I get, you know, at least, I usually get more than that. You know, it's slowing down now, but basically I just spend the whole summer collecting them. And I also have a tomatillo, and I'm going to combine all of that, and I'm going to make salsa verde from that, and it'll be really, really good. So those are kind of the things that I've been working on in the last week or so. Been so busy. I butchered rabbits, so that's something else if you have livestock that you are raising for meat, whether it's the quail, which we also butcher, as well as the chickens, rabbits, or maybe you have meat pigs. I have a friend that sent her pigs to the processor yesterday, you know, so she's going to get smoked hams and bacon and sausage, and I'm going to go over to her house and steal some. You know who I'm talking about right there, yeah. I know you're watching this video. So there's all kinds of products that we are producing at the end of the summer as our gardens finish up. I still have a couple of green beans coming in, so I'm going to do some canning. I've got some potatoes. I need to can those. The sweet potatoes, I'm going to try, I've got a whole bunch canned, so I'm going to try storing these in cold storage. But, you know, now is our time to stock up on all of the bounty, right? That's what fall is. That's what Thanksgiving is. What is the first Thanksgiving? Even though, okay, so maybe we've added some little bit of fictional and some drama and things to make it more palatable to our modern senses. But we had the Indians and the Pilgrims, right? And they came together and they had a meal. It's not like what we see on TV, but the point is still there, that they were celebrating the fact that they were able to stock up on their foods, right? They spent October stocking up. Stocktober. Thank you, Pilgrims. I'm gonna let them claim that one. The Pilgrims invented Stocktober for us. And then in November, they had their bounty and were able to share it and make it through the winter. So that's very exciting. So anyway, these are kind of the things that I've been working on the last couple of weeks, because I know I haven't done a video in a while. Oh, FYI, on the glassing of the eggs. The eggs need to be fresh. The fresher the better, obviously. Unwashed eggs, okay? They have to be fresh, unwashed eggs. And if you have some that have a little dirt on them, just take a dry paper towel and you know, you can just scrape off the dirt. If you don't have chickens, get some, but if for whatever reason you can't, find somebody that is selling fresh, unwashed eggs, and just say, I'm going to water glass the eggs. Can I get the freshest eggs that you have? You know, 2, 3, 4 days, something like that. 3 days or less is going to be ideal. You know, you can say, I want the freshest eggs you have. You know, and before we had chickens, that's what I said. I want the freshest eggs that you have. Okay? So anyway, lots of things going on, lots of things to stock up on in Stocktober. Get it right. There we go. All right, see you next time. Bye.